guys, it's your Uncle Mo, aka Mo Morales. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're having a great and amazing day. So what brings us here today? Why did I decide to open up my camera and start talking to you? A bunch of reasons, but the main subject we're going to cover on today is why I am so excited about the A7 IV. 8 specific things that I cannot wait to start enjoying with the A7 IV. So as you guys know who have been here for a while, I used to have an A7C. I bought that camera when I retired from professional photography and decided to just have a full frame camera to use for street and for personal travel and stuff. Started getting more work, so slowly dragged myself back into the professional shooting realm. Not full time, not to the point where it's a weekly event type of thing like it used to be, but enough that I did not feel comfortable just having one memory card, because losing images on a memory card in the past has scarred me for life, and I never want to be in that situation again. So when the A7 IV was announced, I decided I need to sell the A7C now to get the full value that I can for it, than waiting to sell it in December when the A7 IV will be released, probably January 2022, because the Sony website says December 31st is the official release date. So that means to me, I'm not seeing that camera until January 2022. So in selling that camera, I'm going to be running with the X-T4 as my main camera, as my video camera, as my professional work camera. So wish me luck. We'll see how this goes. I have a 16mm f1.4 and a kit lens, and I'm pretty confident that I can get amazing photos from that combination. The best photos possible? No, not at all. But photos that'll be amazing enough that my clients are going to be very happy. And also, I will be borrowing Omar Gonzalez's 56mm f1.2. Don't tell him, because I haven't asked him yet. All right, so what are the things that I'm excited about? So this is in no order whatsoever. So if you hear me say number 1 or number 3 or next, please ignore that. It's just human nature, and that's usually what my brain goes to. But they're in no specific order whatsoever. The first thing, you see what I'm saying? The first thing is the 33 megapixel sensor. Going from a 24 megapixel sensor that I think is more than adequate and jumping up to 33 megapixels is just, wow. It's just what I need, because I do punch in on my full frame cameras. My Sony A7 III, my Sony A7C, I did have a button on top set up so that if I was using a 35mm lens and I needed to reach out just a little bit more, I would punch it and turn that lens into a crop mode lens, now giving that lens life at 2 different focal lengths. And with a 33 megapixel sensor, I have now, instead of about 11 megapixels that I had with the A7 III, I'm going to have about 14 to 15 megapixels to work with in the A7 IV. I'll put the exact numbers here. So I'm very excited about that, because as a puncher of lenses, this will now give me the ability to have more megapixels to work with. So if I even want to crop more, I may be able to get away with it. We'll see. Next on the list is the stills movie slow motion selector. I think that that's one of the best features on the X-T4, is the ability to flip a switch and have your settings for movies and your settings for stills separated and kept. It's very exciting. It's something small and like uber diva first world problem type of things, but if it's there, it's an advantage, and I love that advantage. So I'm very excited that the A7 IV is going to have it. Now the slow motion part, I'm not the kind of guy that films a lot of slow motion, so it's not a big deal to me. But one day I may use it, and the fact that I don't have to dig into the menus, it's welcomed. I really appreciate it being there. Full size HDMI. Now I only do talking head videos for most of the time, but manipulating that little micro HDMI into the A7C, into the A7 III, has always been annoying. So the fact that Sony has gone to a full-size HDMI input is just more than welcome. That's gonna be my phrase for this video, more than welcome. So I'm very excited about that, and I can't wait to put it to use because I don't have to go, where is it? I'm just going to take the big thing and just shove it in there. That's what she said. I'm sorry. Where were we? The new processor, which is the same processor found on the A1. Wow. I mean, the fact that you're going to have a faster off to on time, faster on to photograph time, record time, those are all things that this new processor is going to allow, as well as other things, other computations behind the scenes that this sensor will be able to handle because of this update that it's going to be rocking. For instance, it doesn't make a difference to me, but for those videographers that use Sony lenses, it's going to give you that no focus breathing on some of the Sony lenses because of this new processor, and that's always welcome. And the fact that it's a new processor means over the next year or two, there's going to be firmware updates that are going to allow it to do even more, or like sneak something in here, sneak something in there. You know what? The old sensor served us well. The A7 III is still an amazing camera. If you go out buy it used for $1,200 to $1,500, you're still getting an amazing camera. Don't misunderstand anything I'm saying here. This is just an elevated camera that's giving you better features and better options. So if these are things that you can live without, keep rocking that A7 III or go pick up yourself an A7 III. I myself, after having the A7C, found it hard to go backwards to the A7 III. It wasn't night and day difference between the two cameras, very, very few differences, but those few differences made me want to look forward to the A7 IV instead of saying, I'm gonna get rid of my C for my to get another 3, if that makes sense to you guys. I'm sure to 2 of you it did. The rest of you, I apologize. I didn't have my coffee yet. The fact that the EVF is going to have 3.6 million dots. Oh, again, I had the A7C. I had like 2 dots. So going from the A7C, I'm going to be so happy to put my eye up to that EVF and have 3.6 million dots to work with. The LCD screen on the back didn't get any improvements whatsoever, but I could live with that. Now, I'm not sitting here and even pretending that it's the best EVF out there, because it's not. It's probably not even top 5, but because it's what I'm used to, it's going to be an improvement for me. The better grip, the fact that you're going to be able to put all 4 of your fat fingers on there is just going to be heaven sent. The A7 III was a great camera, but I needed to have an additional like Mikey grip on it so I could put a whole hand on it. And the A7C, it was no grip at all because it just had a semi-bonded battery well, and then you're up against the lens, you know what I'm talking about. Knowing now that I will have a better grip starting January, I'm excited. I'm gonna write letters to people and tell them how excited I am about this. Hopefully you are too. The closing shutter apparatus thingy. The fact that when I take my lens off to swap it, I don't know if I have to turn the camera off or not. I'll find that out later on. But the fact that when I take the lens off, there is the ability to cover the sensor with a shutter cover. I'm like, why aren't we all doing that? Why isn't that an automatic thing? Hopefully going forward, all cameras will just include that. Color science. The fact that I could take my photos and almost straight out of camera them, with just a few tweaks and tweaks here, because I don't have to worry about dewarming them or cooling them down. Is what I should have said. I don't know why I said dewarm. Thinks like I'm saying deworming. But the fact that I just can take the images straight out of camera if everything else is perfect, is just to help. The less I have to do, the better. Because remember, the more time you spend working on your photos, the less you're paying yourself as a professional. So the new color science is more than welcome. I told you I was gonna say more than welcome, more than I wanted to. Damn it. So what has you excited about the new A7 IV, if anything at all? Maybe you're more excited that it came out just so you can now get yourself an A7 III at a better price, or an A7C at a better price. I just sold mine. If you're in the market for a better full frame camera than what you have now, the A7 III is still a beast. It's still going to net you some amazing photos. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to, even if it's not this new camera. What is the Christmas present you're going to buy yourself, camera-wise? Is it going to be a new lens? Is it going to be a new camera? Is it going to be a new tripod? Is it going to be a new microphone? What is it you're looking forward to buying yourself this Christmas, photography wise or videography wise, even though I'm not a video guy? All right, that's enough. I'll babble later. Be good. Until next time, always appreciate you guys watching. Talk to you soon. It's your Uncle Mo.